Well, I mean, first of all, I don't think that Dr. Randy Abbey should be pitied. I've done an interview with him, I've listened to him, and I think that he knows his facts. He has his correct analysis and is able to respond to all the charges which are being leveled against him and so on. And the facts are very, very grim. Within the last 8 years, and you should know because you're a cocoa farmer, cocoa production has gone down by about 50% or more. That's a fact. The industry is not a thriving industry. Cocoa production has gone down by about 50%, maybe more. Not just that, we have also engaged in future sales of the commodity. Okay. So if you sit down and you use current world market prices for your calculations, you don't know what you're talking about. We sold the cocoa for this year, long ago. And we are going to get prices for, not for this year, but prices before. So this calculation using current prices and so on is absolutely nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. You've done future sales, it's gone. It's also clear that normally we do cocoa purchases with syndicated loans. Last year, we didn't get 1 peso as syndication loans because of our incapacity to repay the loans. We couldn't get 1 peso as syndication loan. That's a fact. You understand? Now, it is also a fact that loans that we went and took for the rehabilitation of cocoa farms and seedlings and so on were expended on something else. The farms are not there. We know that also as a fact. The farms are not there. The monies have been wasted. Okay. Then, listening to Dr. Randy Abbey, I get the impression, again, that funds available to the Cocoa Board have been so terribly mismanaged. For example, there's the issue of jute sacks. The importation of jute sacks is so murky. I mean, we had sufficient quantities to last us for 2 years, and yet we were buying more and more and more. I've forgotten the exact figure. But it's like we bought jute sacks which would last us for 5 years or more.
You mentioned 3 years.
3 years. Fine, I would accept 3 years. You understand?
And then in December, we ordered about $48 million worth of the same jute sacks, even though the 3 year jute sacks had been locked there somewhere, unused.
And the money available in our account in the commercial bank in London was spent buying these things that we didn't need and so on. I mean, it's so horrible, it's unbelievable. Now, what irks me is that those responsible for this horrible state of affairs are the very people who have the effrontery now to come and be sermonizing. You leave the cocoa industry in this state, horrible state, the most horrible state since independence. There's never been a year in which cocoa production has gone down by more than 50%. 50%. You leave the industry in this horrible, extremely horrible state. And you can sermonize on what is right and what is wrong in the cocoa industry. It just beats me completely. Now, again, when they are talking about this package, they are only talking about the producer price. They are not talking about the incentives which have been introduced. My brother here, Honorable Member of Parliament, he has been a little honest and spoken about the incentives. But he says they are normal. They are not normal. They cannot be normal. You know why?
Why?
Cocoa scholarships covered secondary education.
Yeah.
With the introduction of free SHS, you could not be talking about cocoa scholarships for secondary education anymore. It was free for anybody, everybody, anyway.
Yeah.
So cocoa scholarships for secondary education stopped 8 years ago. Now, what they're doing now is that, yes, because it's free for everybody, it makes no sense to announce cocoa scholarships for secondary education. So now, for cocoa farmers, wards of cocoa farmers, we are going to pay for their tertiary education. That is new. That's a new package. It's not old. You understand? Now, when it comes to fertilizers, unless the media has been misleading us, the supply of free fertilizer, absolutely free fertilizer to farmers was stopped. So there's a new element to that one, and we need to admit that. Okay? So you're talking about the scholarships, you're talking about the supply of free fertilizers, you're talking about the spraying which Honorable Member of Parliament described in detail and so on.
The mass cocoa spraying.
Mass cocoa spraying and so on. Now you're talking also about the rehabilitation of farms. And mind you, you know that the swollen shoot disease is up again.
Yeah.
Master, you know that. Swollen shoot disease.
No, it's been there. It's always there.
No, but now there's a new intensity.
It's been intensive. That's why they started fighting it.
Yeah.
It's been intensive.
But with the passage of time, it gets more intensive.
Yeah.
It's
always,
faster.
so you need to be rehabilitating continuously.
Fantastic. And thank you very much. You know, so, my brother, you need resources to save the cocoa farmer from the swollen shoot disease.
Yeah.
Because the swollen shoot disease will wipe the cocoa trees off.
Yeah.
And make it impossible for the farmer to earn anything. Now, all these measures have been put in place, and all you decide to focus attention on is the producer price. Abba, why? Why, Abba? Why? So, look, the cocoa farmer, and to be honest with you, the cocoa farmer has never been in a very good place. I mean, you go to the villages, you go to the cocoa farming villages and so on, and you see the conditions under which cocoa farmers live.
Yeah.
They live in mud houses with thatched roof. You know, in many cocoa communities, buying a piece of cloth for your wife at the end of the year when you receive your payment and so on is cause for celebration.
Yeah.
So cocoa farmers are not in the best of conditions, and I think that we should increasingly advocate measures which would improve the life of cocoa farmers. You know, modern housing, you know, with modern facilities and so on is something we should be advocating for. You know, right now, cocoa farmers don't even have water to drink.
Right.
The streams from which they drink have been polluted, so massively polluted and so on. It becomes a huge problem, you know, for them. I think we need to introduce new technology for drying cocoa, breaking the pod and drying it. I mean, I've seen some new Chinese technology which is very interesting. I don't see why we cannot be designing those simple machines here in order to reduce the burden of the cocoa farmers. So there's a lot that can be done for cocoa farmers, but those who seek equity, we are told, ought to at least make the effort to come with clean hands. You're seeking equity, your hands are dirty with filth. And you want to seek equity. How? So, look, the cocoa industry has been substantially devastated over the last 8 years. Substantially devastated over the last 8 years. We need to make renewed efforts to rebuild it. And in doing so, I think it's absolutely important for us to check populism and to focus attention on the real facts in the industry. And the real facts in the industry don't look pretty.
You talked about a promise which was made in the past of paying cocoa farmers some 6,000, in some cases 7,000 cedis or so. At the time, the FOB was about $9,000. True?
No, that was a spot price. When we talk about FOB,
okay,
there's FOB. Today's FOB is about $8,500.
Right.
You cannot use that to price. But what have they achieved? So that's why we have achieved FOB. So today's achieved FOB is 7,200.
Right.
That is what we use in token. You don't go and use the spot on the market. So at the time, spot FOB 9,000, 10,000.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't mean that is what you are getting. But the average FOB then, because remember, the price that didn't get to 9,000, it came from 2,000.
Okay.
So you were buying 2,000, 2002, 2003, 2004, 3,000 until you reach the 9,000.
Right.
So you have to strike the average.
Yes.
And that is why they got the 4,850.